Hi, I'm Mark. I'm a new product developer. So, back in season 2 of South Park, there was an episode about the Gnomes. I also like that episode. So I wanted to know how I could help the Gnomes, assuming the Gnomes were coders now. So in their 3-part model, it was write code, phase 2, phase 3 win. So the joke back in season 2 was, what's phase 2? And it was really never answered, so I decided I would have a look at it. So this actually is a pointy-haired gnome. And frequently, pointy-haired gnomes are interested in things like business metrics, project metrics, and anything that's new, anything they heard recently. But that's typically not what the coders appreciate. Typically, I found that the coders appreciate things like Dan Pink described, such as autonomy, can do what you need to do, mastery, get good at it, and purpose, have a sense that what I'm doing today is going to, might get used, won't get rewritten, won't get thrown away, those kinds of things. So if you put that in the form of the Agile Manifesto, you can write it like this: autonomy, mastery, and purpose over business metrics and process metrics, project metrics. So I felt safe to saying that here. Okay, then I got thinking about this other guy, Nicholas Taleb. He wrote a book called Anti-Fragile, and one of the key points in theirs was there are certain systems that get stronger when they're under a moderate amount of stress and uncertainty. That sounds just like what I do, and sounds what you do. There's always stress and uncertainty. So it'd be great if you could somehow design your system to benefit from that. So that was Taleb's main contribution. And there was this other guy, John Boyd, who was a military guy, and he is better known for this thing called OODA loop or OODA loop or Boyd cycle. But the thing I'll point out to you at the moment is it's a cycle that includes observation, what's out there, orientation, how you going to approach the problem, what kind of options do you have, then make a decision, then do action. And one of the parts that people always leave off of his model is this part about unfolding interaction. What happens when you did that, made that action, or made that decision, what happened, and then let that feedback into to correct your loop. Okay, the other revelation that he had about that we could translate to products was he wouldn't have just showed a product by itself in a beauty shot. He would have showed a product like this being used, so he actually put it in one sentence, that winners have the capability to build, to make, and to employ, use products in an appropriate way. So if you're making snowmobiles, this is what it should look like, not beauty shots. So that was his other revelation he had later in life. Okay, so if you take some of these ideas, autonomy, mastery, and purpose, analysis and synthesis, and options, can you apply that to a development environment? So I think you can. So this represents at least my starting point for my development team room. And so I'm going to cover just 4 quick little options that you can possibly think about implementing. And the key thing is development options aren't just choices that you make off of like a menu, it's things that you can actually do. So let's talk about those. You can design to improve optionality, and the four things are requisite variety. You need to get people that are different than you to solve problems that you don't know that are out there. So that's the first one. And you can do that by getting a diversity of partners, more training, and access to expertise and things like implicit cooperation. Then this other thing I've sort of been toying with is called pair development, where you get two people that are different. One says, I understand it. The other guy says, no, I understand it. And then they realize that in 3D they were looking at the same thing. So that's sort of the revelation of pair development. Disintermediation is sort of the opposite of hierarchies, where you can actually talk to the people you need to talk to. And when you're testing prototypes, you actually see the testing as opposed to getting reports. And I covered that already. And the fourth one, recursion, solving problems of the same type in the same form. So instead of just worrying about bugs, you actually worry about what happens when the user is using it. So with those kind of items, I think that you can have a part of an answer to what is phase 2, and that's the ability to synthesize new options and exercise new options, watch the feedback, make the correction, do better, make friends.